It's an honor to be with some fellow leaders of this area and the sheriff. And this is almost a surreal experience for North Carolina because we've got a beautiful Carolina blue sky and the sun shining, but we're still going through a hurricane in Robeson County. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, sir.
And people are suffering right now. People have lost their homes. People have lost their cars. People have lost all their belongings, their medicine, and even sadly their pets. And they're still kind of in a state of shock. And the people being impacted most are the people who can't afford it. And these are the people that I have been visiting during the day in both Pembroke and here in Lumberton. And we're doing everything we can to respond to their needs. This is a natural disaster which we've never seen in this area. And this is a natural disaster that became suddenly with very little warning at a much bigger degree than anyone ever realized. And it's still a disaster that's impacting roads and power and water and the environment and human life. And I'm sad to report, in fact, today we did lose another life in the state of North Carolina that we just got confirmation on. I think it was in Lenoir County. So that brings us up to a total of 20 people that have lost their life during Hurricane Matthew. And even though the sky is blue, Hurricane Matthew is still with us, especially in this county. And I just want to thank the leaders of this county for their incredible teamwork under dire circumstances. I want to thank my National Guard and Mike Sprayberry for the Emergency Operations Center. We're all working together, some lessons learned during the first 48 hours, but we're all coming together between the city and the counties. And I'm proud of that. Some immediate things that have happened here is, first of all, the Guard has 135 citizen soldiers right here. We got them here as quick as possible, and I'd like to thank them very much. We have also 45 vehicles with the Guard right here to help people. We have 110 military police here, in addition to that, to make sure the sheriff and the police chief here and others in both Lumberton and Pembroke remain safe and the infrastructure remains safe. We also are getting the power back on, I think, on 4 of the 6 shelters that we have here. We just got a shelter's power turned back on about 1 o'clock today. Purnell Sweat, who I just visited there, where we have about 820 people right now. And I'll tell you, it was heartbreaking hugging some of the people who've lost everything. But I'll tell you, the spirit of this place is incredible. And these are people who have seen 72 hours. 72 hours, they've lost it all. They've lost it all. So we've got people running 6 shelter operations here. 2 of them still do not have full-time power. They have generators at this point in time. We're getting the food there. We're getting the water there. Our next goal is to find housing. We're working very closely with FEMA at this point in time. I'm not sure how quick that's going to be, but our first goal is to get them out of the schools. We've got some major school issues. I just met with your superintendent of schools. They've got some issues regarding their building where the headquarters are is completely shut down, and that won't be operable for a long time. We've got an environmental spill there. We've got 2 schools that are still underwater, 2 elementary schools, I believe, that are underwater here. We haven't even got a chance to get those schools because they're still underwater. We've still got some roads that are underwater, and so we do not know the degree of the repair of those roads until the water recedes. But as soon as the water recedes, we'll be able to start fixing those roads as quick as possible, very similar to what we've been doing in Fayetteville. In fact, some of the roads we saw in Fayetteville are being under repair as we speak today. So this county's got, I think, the greatest challenge that we have regarding Hurricane Matthew of any county in North Carolina. And we're going to do everything to work with them. We're sending in supplies by the truckload. The airport is a major distribution center at this time. We have some logistics issues because the road's closed. And we can't tell you when I-95 is going to be open yet. We've just got to wait for the water to recede. There's nothing you can do to just force the water away when you've got a stream. But as soon as it is, we'll start working on a repair to get that reopened also. The town center is still underwater in many areas, and therefore it's tough to get the power back on until that's resolved. We are still dealing with a crisis of flooding in Robinson County. So with that, I'd just like to thank the sheriff. And Sheriff, if you'd like to say anything, or any of the elected officials would like to say anything. Senator, thank you for your work. I appreciate it very much, Senator Smith. And this is all teamwork between I talked with President Obama yesterday again and explained the situation to him. And he's working extremely well with us. And FEMA's going to be working well with us. There's a meeting going on right now regarding housing. There might be some transitional housing in this area where we might have to go to hotels first, then possibly into FEMA housing. But we're going to move as quick as possible. There are a lot of logistic issues with housing. The first issue is, where would you put it?
We want to thank you.
Come on up here. Come on up here, and I'll let some other people say a few words, and then we'll take.
I just want to thank the citizens that surround this community. The other counties have really stepped up to really do great work in our community.
And the corporate community.
And that's right. We just appreciate the faith community. So we're just grateful and thankful for your leadership on this effort and all that you're doing. And I think the citizens are really excited about seeing you today to step up and do what you do as governor. We just thank you for that. But our citizens, at the end of the day, we got to make sure that they get back to life as we know it is normal. So thank you for your leadership and everybody here today.
Thank you very much. God bless. These are the most resilient citizens I've ever met. I mean, I was expecting a different reception, and the reception we got was one of hugging and grace and thankfulness. But in the meantime, we've got to move quick, and we're going to move as quick as we can. And as long as we remain a team, right, Garland? We're going to make this happen. So, Sheriff, would you like to give any other update? You're the guy close to the ground. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Governor. I appreciate what you have done.
Thank you, man.
And all your team. I appreciate what
you got good people.
Our county administration has done in the whole county. And we all come together. We did before the hurricane hit, and we've been together ever since, day and night. And we just appreciate what the communities are doing, trying to help us, looking out for each other. And we're doing the best we can, but it's a team effort by everybody. And I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sheriff. Anyone else want to say anything?
Well, just want to thank you, Governor, for coming here and helping.
Thanks,
and you have seen the truth of Robinson County folks. They are resilient.
Boy.
They are happy to be alive at this point, and we appreciate everyone's help. We will need a lot more help in the next months and maybe even years to come. It's not going to be a real quick event. This is going to be a long-term thing, and we need all the help we can get, and we appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Senator. Thank you. We're pouring in the resources. Go ahead.
Thank you, Governor. I just want to personally
Introduce
thank
yourself,
Representative Charles Graham. This is my district, Robinson County. I want to thank the governor and his team, Director Sprayberry, for all of your support, all the phone calls I've made. The state has come forward. Thank you, Governor.
You got my cell phone number, don't you?
Thank you, leadership. Thank you, sir.
I've talked to every one of these individuals and Pembroke mayors, and God bless y'all. They're not afraid to call for help, and nor should they, because people were being rescued. I just had the saddest story. I lost, there was two different couples, one couple in the shelter with their family, and their dogs had to be taken away from the shelter. And they were just so concerned about the dogs, and it just broke my heart. And another couple that was rescued from their house, but their dogs sadly did not survive. And they lost everything. They were so concerned about their 5 dogs, and it just broke my heart. And they'd lost everything. But the spirit of this county is the best I've ever seen in my lifetime. The people are the best I've ever seen, so God bless y'all. So with that, we'll be glad to take any questions. I've got my emergency response, Mike Sprayberry's getting to see firsthand. Oh, thank you. I'm giving you a hand. Thank you. God bless y'all. So let's take some questions real quick. Yes, sir.
With what you've seen, once this water begins to recede, do you expect that death toll to rise?
I hope not. Right now, I don't know of any missing people in this area. And, you know, it's just something different's happening every day. We've had an average of 2 people being lost a day since this began. Right now, probably the biggest concern I have is in Kinston and Greenville. Kinston's not going to surge until Saturday, I believe. And I'm just praying that the people stay away from the water. This water is deadly, and by the way, this water is not environmentally clean either. So we've had 20 people die, and I think 19 have been deaths due to drowning, primarily in their cars. And I just want to encourage people to stay out of the car and stay out of the water. It kills it. This water will kill you. That's why I'm so upset at the hurricane rating system, where they go Hurricane 4 and then it drops to 1, and so everyone disappears and say it's not a hurricane anymore. No, it's still a hurricane. The hurricane ratings don't include water, and water kills as much as anything. And when all this is over, I'm going to recommend the federal government change the whole hurricane rating system, because it misleads people, it misleads the media, and it's wrong. And but that's another time. That's another time, because the hurricane rating system has people let down their guard. And that's probably why it's not on live TV on every cable network. I appreciate the North Carolina media for staying focused on this, because that focus puts pressure on me and other people to make things happen, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. Yes, sir.
Mike Galloway with Wilsonian.
Yes, sir.
With Lumberton's water situation seems dire. It's estimated to go from weeks to many weeks until the water can be restored. What can the state or federal government do beyond bottled water for fire hydrant, for fire department, sewage, water, etc.?
Let me get Mike Sprayberry up here to tell you some of the things we're doing in the short term, and then I got to let you know a lot of the things we haven't been able to do an engineering evaluation of it yet, because some of this stuff's still underwater. So it's very hard to do an evaluation of how quick you can get your water system up. Our first goal was to get the power on, and I've been on the phone with Duke Energy, and I'd like to thank Duke Energy. We've got a co-op here that's working hard too. A lot of the co-op power is underwater. The hospital power, I understand, just has come back on. So it's off generator, and that was extremely important. So we had to get the shelters power on, the hospitals. Our next goal is water, and not temporary water, but full-time water. Mike, do you have anything else to say on that?
Well, yes, sir. So it's our understanding that there's a water treatment plant that's not operating, but it's still underwater. And so what we're going to have to do is take a good technical look at it, see if if the water can be pumped away from it or what can actually be done. But until such time we can have a good look at it and the water recedes, like the governor was saying, we're going to have to keep pumping, bottled water in. But that's a top focus of ours. That and housing are our two top priorities right now. So we got to make that happen. We clearly understand that.
In other words, the best scenario would be to get this plant in place as quick as possible. But the good news is some of the water is receding now.
We have a fire department that doesn't have enough water to put out fires. What can we say to them?
Right now, I don't know what to say to them. I don't have an answer for you. If I did, I'd give you one, but I'm not going to make up an answer. We don't have water right now, and we're just praying. I suppose if a fire does occur, we'll bring in the Guard and other facilities to try to put out those fires using whatever we can, portable things that are available. And let's pray we don't have that situation.
Personally, you talking about what you saw in the shelters. Explain to us what people have told you when they saw you touring the shelters.
I was shocked at the positive feedback, but I've seen a tremendous change in the past 48 hours. I visited a shelter at St. Paul's 2 days ago, and the turnaround in the management and the operations in 48 hours has been tremendous. 48 hours ago, when visiting a shelter here in this county, I was not pleased. But again, that was within 24 hours of this terrible flood. People had just been rescued. We didn't have power. We didn't have enough water or food, but the shelter conditions have improved tremendously, and it helped that the power came on too. I'll tell you what I saw was the resilience, but if you go in one of these shelters, we've literally got hundreds of people over a high school basketball floor. You've got people in the lobby. I met one family with a man and wife and his 3 kids and their grandparents, and they're living in a corner of the lobby of the school. They're in their 3rd night tonight in that lobby, and I will say this, their spirits were high. They just don't know what next week is going to be, and that's why Mike and I agree that our next goal is to get them out of the temporary shelters and get them into something that's more private, more respectful, safer for these, especially these families. And we've got a lot of elderly we're concerned about. One other issue that we're dealing with is medicine. That's another short term. We've got water, shelter, and medicine are probably our major 3 issues right now since power is coming back. But medicine, we're finding out, we're setting up a system right now with Walmart.
Walmart's been gracious.
Walmart is helping us with medicine right now, and we're trying to get medicine prescriptions through Walmart where we could get
7 to 30 days.
7 to 30 days. We're going to try to get 30-day prescriptions. So medicine, you think of all the people that can't get to their medicine right now. So those are some short-term, could be life and death situations we're dealing with.
We've got a lot of people on the roads trying to get through the state, trying to get down to Lumberton. Just talk about some of the advice you would give to people trying to get around.
I wouldn't come through 95 right now. I'd just say delay your travel through 95, wouldn't you?
Yes, sir.
Because some of that travel, it's actually causing us problems, because when they're coming up 95, then they want to take the detour, and they're causing us congestion in Lumberton, and that congestion then is hurting the recovery efforts of people. And it's we've still got a lot of water in downtown Lumberton, so I'd prefer just people stay off I-95. If you got travel plans, go around this area.
I'm sorry that I missed the beginning, so I'm sorry if you've already addressed this, but can you talk about how Robeson County compares to the other flooded areas of the state?
I think Robeson County is the greatest challenge we have at this point in time. The challenges is the water, because your water system's broken down. The utilities is, we still have a large amount of people without electric power, and we've got both the co-op and Duke Energy, so we're dealing with two different utilities. And these aren't just in downtown Lumberton or Pembroke. We've got people in the rural areas, less populated areas, that we're still reaching out to as we speak. We've still got rescue issues right now. And then housing. This is where we have the greatest number of people in shelters over a long period of time. The other areas we're about to have flooding in the next several days had a lot more warning. We had neighborhoods that had no warning whatsoever. And we had a levee, not officially break, but the water went around the levee, and the people in those houses had no warning. And we're talking over 1,000 people. So that's the unique situation here, is the lack of warning due to a levee as compared to other areas. The other areas are Greenville, Kinston, and other areas, we kind of know where the flooding is going to occur. And plus, this happened in the dead of night, right? Yes, I mean, we had people just all of a sudden wake up and their life's changed.
And these two major highways being blocked.
Yeah, and the other issues, this town's divided. We've got major logistic issues. By the way, we're about to have them in possibly Greenville and Kinston too. As those, we're going to have to probably close some roads, major roads in Greenville between now and tomorrow, and in Kinston. But in this area, we've got major roads closed. And then we had the truckers going off the roads trying to find detours, and they ended up right into the water itself. So that's why we sent out a lot of our troopers here as quick as possible to redirect them. I hope the troopers done a good job, right?
Super job.
I'm proud of our troopers through Highway Patrol. Thank y'all. God bless y'all. Continue to focus on this area. Thank you for the team. God bless y'all very much.